Well, hi there. This is Leslie, and we're going to dig into the donkey class. So you'll be seeing lots of videos. So I promised you a new fun fold that I hadn't shown anybody before in any of my classes. So we are going to do what's called the V-fold pop-up. And what you are you have a template, okay, in your packet. And I thought I brought mine. And that one I cut too small. So, okay. Those are small for a reason. Okay, well, we're just going to make a new template out of this piece of Whisper White. So your template is 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And then we cut it in half diagonally. Okay, so we're going to just go right along that cutting track. So I'm lining up those corners. Now yours will be all done for you and it will be labeled, right? So that's our template. All right, so this side is 2 3/4 inches. Okay, and this side is 3.5 inches. And this is how we're going to use that. All right. What you're going to end up having is a piece that looks like this. All right, but let's start from the beginning. Okay, so this is the one where you're going to need to cut 2 card bases that are your 8.5 by 5.5. Okay, on the outside it's scored at 4 1/4 and folded. Okay, so that's your outside. Your inside is a little bit smaller. Okay, your inside is 5 1/4 here. Okay, 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, scored at 4 1/8, or just folded in half. Okay, if you don't want to bother finding that 4 1/8, just fold it in half. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to put this template with your print facing up, your 2 straight sides here, so your right angle up in that corner, okay, on the fold. And then you're going to either very lightly with a pencil make a little mark, or you can put it on something really soft, like a silicone mat or something, and make just enough of a score line that you can see it. All right, you just need to see and know that it's there. Then you can put it in your scoring tool, okay, and line that little light score line or pencil line that you made up, and use your scoring tool, not your cutting tool. Use your light colored one, okay, and do one side, and then I would flip it over because I can barely see that coming through the other side. In fact, I may go one more time this way, like that, and go pretty hard. And now I can sort of see it on this side, right here and right here. So you're going to be able to see it a lot better on your own than I can. Then you can see it on mine, okay? But you just want to have those score lines there, okay? All right. So here's what's next. Here's where it gets a little tricky, but don't freak out, okay? So what you're gonna do is you want this to be a valley fold, so you want it to go in, all right? So you're just gonna take this and very gently kind of pull this back a little bit, and it'll start going. It'll give, okay? Like that. And you just kind of make it go there, all right? And same on the other side, kind of like your grocery bag, okay? And then this one that you've already scored is going to come forward, okay? And you're going to just gently, now you're not going to want to put a lot of pressure down here at this corner, all right? Or the cardstock could crack. But you do want to give that a little bit because you want it to go this way, all right? Because that's where your pop-up's going to happen, okay? And then you can just give this a little bit of a crease, okay? So then what's going to happen is you're going to find your space here, okay? So I would put adhesive. I'm going to use tear tape because it's super strong, and when people get this card, they are so going to want to play with it because it's so fun. It is so fun. All right, so I'm going to put a little piece there. We're going to go right down this edge over here. Okay. And I am giving it a little bit of give. All right, I want it to have a little bit of give. And I'm going to put my adhesive just in from that fold. All right, you could probably even leave that part, but I'm going to come in a little way because, well, you want it to stay in the card. You don't, sometimes it needs that little bit of forgiveness, shall we say. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, we're going to go right along that diagonal fold like that. Now, I wouldn't, when you go taking this apart, taking the paper off, okay, don't do it all at once. Do one side, get it lined up. Whoops, you coming up? Oh, good. Needed to go up a little higher. All right, so I would take off what's going to be the back first. All right. I'm going to just put that in a little ways. All right. So it's going to go in this way. So this is going to be my back. So I'm going to start taking these pieces off. Oops, I forgot to burnish this. Giving this tear tape a really good rub will make it come off a lot easier. Okay. And using your take your pick tool to just loosen those ends will help a lot as well. Okay. There. Okay. So we want this up at the top. We want the open to the open, and we want to very carefully try and find our center. Okay. So now that that is in where we want it, okay, so now you've got halfway done. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take off this side so that, and then we're just going to close the front cover. There we go. So it'll work like, you'll see in just a second. Oh, I have a tiny bit of overhang. Let's just push that back. Okay. And we're just going to close this front just like that and give it a good rub. Okay. And now, see why you want to give it a little bit of give down there? Dun, dun, dun. Isn't that fun? So I made mine with the Bermuda Bay as my base and Coastal Cabana for the inside. So one sheet of each of your colors will get you 2 of these cards. Okay, so now we have 2 out of 2 sheets. 1 sheet of Coastal Cabana, 1 sheet of Bermuda Bay. All right. There. Honestly, I hadn't quite finished the outside. So I would go ahead and add, and you're going to make your pieces the same way. Okay. The only thing is you're going to trim off a little bit of that. And you just have to trim this long side, and these will get trimmed proportionally. All right. So here, did I do it this way? Oh, I cut 2 of these with the same, going the same direction. So you'll see you're going to have to take and no, it should work. Oh, yeah, see. Anyway, because I cut this from the same rectangle, you're going to need 2 rectangles so that you have one, otherwise, unless you don't mind having a different pattern. Okay. So that's what you'll have to do. You'll have to cut 2 rectangles like this. One you'll cut on this diagonal and one you'll cut on the other diagonal. And then you'll have the 4 pieces that you need for your 2 cards. Okay. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is put a part 2 of this video of this card to finish it. But that, I just wanted to give you guys the basics of getting the pop-up part figured out. Okay, I wanted to go all the way through that. All right, we'll be back with part 2. Thanks, guys.